first of all, just want to, homecoming, and for whatever reason, I've said this the last couple of days, but man, it's a special feeling. A lot of guys back, and just having pride for this school. Obviously as an alum from here, my wife's an alum from here, right? Just to cut me open, man, I bleed Sluky maroon, and as a coach, sometimes you have this overwhelming feeling that you want to do well for others, and when you carry that weight, and you want there to be a day like this, like all those guys come back, and we talked with our team, like there'll be a day that you come back, you're watching that position group, how you want it to, to look like. Those guys understand the ups and downs of seasons and everything like that too. So from whatever era that we're back, just those guys are always welcome. I always want them to feel like, the red carpet is rolled out for them. It's fun to see now coaching for 10 years, like that first recruiting class, obviously, which was a special one. But Jeremy going in and being a part of that, and then all those guys coming back, it was a special feeling seeing that. I was telling, Alicia, I was telling the staff, like, my job is to stay focused. A lot of people want your time the last couple of days and stuff. So take a deep breath right now, let those guys go enjoy each other. But finding a way to win this football game, I was proud of our group, man. I keep saying this. We have a good football team. And I've been doing it long enough now to know when you have a good team. Doesn't mean that when you go through some tough times of a season, and I've relayed that. I've painted the picture for them, what this team can accomplish. We don't need anybody else. We need each other to just control our own destiny. And when we play, we don't have to be perfect, but when we go play solid football, taking care of the ball, playing complimentary football, and our guys just get to go play, we have a really good team. And so I think that was on display today, really through 3.5 quarters. It got a little sloppy there at the end with the punt block right before the half too. Felt like our defense, right, that score doesn't really dictate, how those guys played. I mean, that was a great outing of just playing high-level defense. I mean, they don't have 3 points before half if it's not before a block punt. They don't have a touchdown there at the end if it wasn't for a block punt. They don't have a touchdown if we put the ball on the ground there, with the twos in there. And so those guys played incredibly well, set the tone. And so I'm just really proud of the guys, because I know the guys that we have in that room and that staff, right? And they believe in each other, and they came out here and played a good football game.
Jeremiah looked like he was channeling his inner Jeremy Chin for most of that game, didn't he?
Yeah, honestly, I could just, you saying that, like yesterday, Jeremy walked in the team meeting room and sat in while I talked to the guys. I always talk to the guys on Friday night before a team meal. And Jeremy was like, I don't want to talk. And he talked to him for a second, but he was like, I just want to sit in here like old times. And you could tell Jeremiah, lit up when Jeremy walked around the corner, and almost kind of stood up. And so you just talk about that. Like those guys, Ryan Neal back, Jeremy Chin, like they're watching the safeties. They're watching the DBs. Craig James was back, played in the NFL, right? These guys are going to watch, like, who's playing my position? How are the corners on this team? And Jeremiah's playing at a high level, right? Like, I think there's a lot of good players in this league, but you turn on the tape consistently through 8 weeks. Jeremiah's played really good football. He's gotten the player of the week from us as a staff a couple times. And, obviously this week it will probably be another one. Really just kind of stat stuffer, doing a little bit of everything. He tackles, PBUs, pick, pressured him a couple times, and so proud of him.
Eddie and Chandler and the offensive line kind of set the tone with that first possession too, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a just kind of a workman's-like first possession, running the football. I feel like that was just kind of the offensive for sure first half. With the punt return, we only had one series in the third quarter, and so there was a there was a long time-wise before being out there, right? And so, but got off explosive runs. I mean, I think when you look back, I mean, Chandler and Ed both had, several explosive runs. And then, I was proud of DJ. I felt like that when you look at that stat sheet, that's winning quarterback. Whenever you can rely on the run, you can be 19 of 23. And I think 2 or 3 of his incompletions or throwaways to get out of sacks. That was like protection breakdowns and throws the ball away. And then the other one was a good ball to Jathan there at the end with the shot down the field and, kind of getting tangled up right there. Could have been maybe PI or if not, but he's seeing it and he's putting it in the right spot. It was an accurate football. And so I thought he was good on third down. I thought he ran the ball efficiently. And so, I feel like, this team should have confidence. I have confidence in them. And when we stay out of our own way, the balls move pretty consistently.
How good was it to see Tay break one in the punt return game after he looked like he came close a time or two earlier this year?
Yeah. I mean, the guys, we were just kind of arguing. I thought we returned a punt for a touchdown against Delaware in 2007. He was saying it was a kickoff. I got to go back and think about that with Luke. But I know what the thing says. But, it's been almost 20 years since we've returned a punt for a touchdown. That's got to be maybe the longest streak in the country. And so, I was proud of Tay just sticking with it. We talked about it at halftime. Like he put one on the ground early. We got it back. And I know that was bothering him. And I could just tell it on his face at halftime. And I called him out in front of the whole team about, because we talked about this, like body language. Like, you're our punt returner. You're going back out there. We all have confidence in you. Like, I think you're going to return one for a touchdown right here in the second half. Like, because there's been a couple that were close to going, and then he does it on the opening one. And so, proud of him. It was a huge boost for us. And so, it was a good job.
Was it something that you guys maybe didn't do as well as you wanted to with the protection and the punts, or was it something?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, you got to look like. I mean, anytime you get 2 punt blocked, not good. Obviously, they blocked one 2 weeks ago against South Dakota State, so it was a heavy emphasis. They obviously have a good scheme to come after that. We'll go back and watch it. I think on the last one, Presto came up to me. We should have checked to a different protection, which we had done all game when you saw us shifting, and we didn't on that one. Late in the game, we should have got it checked, and we would have been fine. And then, just a learning experience, I think, right there. I mean, the first one, it wasn't really the protection. Now that you got iPads, we've watched this. Paul's just got to speed it up in his head. When they're coming at it, he's the furthest guy. We got to beat that with op time, and didn't do it. But I thought the biggest thing right there was the defense. You give up a punt block right there, 30 seconds to go, and you hold them to a field goal, with an opportunity for them to gain a little momentum, and didn't let them do it. The defense came up big like that, all day. And I know the score says 17 points, but we just went through how he got those points. I'm proud of Coach Prawn and the staff and getting these guys playing, tackling at a high level today.
You were smiling on Aiden Quinn's touchdown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, couple times now, just club out there catching the ball. AJ's special guy too. One of those guys when he comes back, man, just done so much for our program. The grittiness. I called him out in team meetings too. Like, he's a guy that you want younger players to be like. When you look at AJ Quinn, there's no doubt what you're going to get, right? Like, hey, you lost 2 games. You get questions, sometimes narratives, like, you guys have to ask questions. How's the team doing? Fans, and like, the guy's all right. They're like, yeah, we're all right. Like, when you look at AJ Quinn, he's all right, right? Like, there's only one way that he plays the game. It's physical. It's tough. He's going to respond the right way. He's not perfect, but you just trust him, right? And so when you get to see those guys get rewarded like that, like, it's and we told him, like, we had that play in. Felt like there were some plays, some positions that on the field that would get pressured. And, it was just a timely call that he was able to get a screen and go score.
You guys played a well-rounded game today. Was there something that you saw differently from today than the last two games?
I don't think so. I think it's a long season. Like I've told those guys, like we've got 4 left. Right? You just keep stacking wins. Now our focus has got to be next week about Murray State, and then to make it 2 in a row, right? And you get challenged in this league. I mean, if you look at our losses at a Big Ten school, at number 1 North Dakota State, they're going to cause some issues for you, right? The win percentage up there, there's a lot of teams in the country that will go up to the Fargo Dome and get beat. And I feel like there's moments in both of those games like we showed them this week. Like turn on the tape and there's high-level football against the best in the country. And so our belief has to say, like, what happened in those games? Like we turned the ball over 6 times in 2 games, right? And so against good teams, you cannot give them extra possessions, right? We need those possessions. And then we didn't create any turnovers ourselves, like momentum plays. So we got a turnover today. We got to score on special teams. And so – like I just, I think you'll look back and just far as like the team that we have, like whoever wins the Super Bowl is probably going to have 4 or 5 losses this year, right? In those losses early in the season, you watch Sean McVay, you watch these coaches, you're going to learn from those. You want your team to grow from those, right? And that's why you play in this league. You have no choice but to play a challenging schedule. So you're going to get challenged. They're going to expose some things that, hey, we've got to grow from. And when you do that, then you can go from failure to success. If you go and start making excuses or, trying to fix the problem, like it's just like, hey, we can fail. We did, right? We did. The outcome wasn't right, but like I'm just telling you, there's enough on there to say like we can go play with anybody, and if we play the right way. And I felt like the guys, came out today and just played. You're not scared to make a mistake and just went and played.
You got a 2-game road trip coming up, Murray State, and then you go out east to Youngstown. Talk about getting ready for those games, being on the road for a bit.
Yeah, I think just one at a time. So it's really about going to Murray, and then we'll worry about the rest of the games after that. So, similar. We've been down. We'll stay at the same hotel we did with UT Martin. So it'll be a pretty similar trip as far as like staying in Paducah. It's what's nice about some of these, FCS games that are pretty close playing. So 2 of our games being we got more away games than we do home this year, but playing at SEMO, at Murray, fans, everybody can come. So we'll enjoy this one tonight, and then tomorrow morning it'll be right on to Murray.
Eddie, how badly did you guys need this result today?
We needed it bad. Especially coming off the 2 weeks. We just came off with those 2 losses. We feel like if we just minimize, turnovers and things like that, that game is way closer, or we can win those games. So this week, we were just overemphasizing things like ball security and things of that nature. Coach Hill going to cook it up, do what he need to do on the offensive end, and we just went out and made plays.
Scored in the first drive for the 7th time in 8 games this year. How much does that get the ball rolling in the right direction when you're scoring right off the bat like that?
I feel like it gives the defense just an understanding, like we coming out the gate, we firing off. Y'all should do the same. There should be no level drop. Also, I feel like we know who we are. Coach Hill, he preaches this to us. We see it in practice every day. So we honestly feel like anybody in the country, we should be able to come out and score first drive.
You and Chandler combined for 167 yards rushing today. Seemed like you guys were hitting the holes pretty quick there. How much of it was just feeling comfortable with the place? How much of it was a job the offensive line was doing in front of you?
Yeah, I would shout out my dogs, the O-line, and just a bunch of smash mouth guys, a bunch of smart guys, knowledgeable guys with experience on that offensive line. They definitely make it easier for me and Chan just to, hit the hole that's there and run the play that's designed. But like I said, this week, coming off those 2 losses, we just wanted to come out hitting the gate. Coach Hill let us know that it was plays out there. Today we just had to go make the plays.
What about your teammate Jeremiah there? It seemed like he was all over the place defensively, wasn't he?
Yeah, hey, he had me on the sideline losing my breath the way I was screaming, man. That boy got up for that pick. But no, just a leader, just a leader. He's always the same guy every day. Like I said, coming off those 2 weeks, he was one of the main guys I was just fired up about this week. And so we already knew that 8 was going to come out there and do what he do best.
One final question about today's game. You guys talked about putting the use the lessons you learned from the last couple of weeks, and at the same time, how much did you kind of try to put those games away and focus on the new challenge you had this week?
Yeah, just being able to reflect. We come in on Sundays, we reflect, we go over, what we could have did better, how we feel about the game. But then just being able to, not be emotional and play with emotion. And I feel like that also goes back to, watching film and all those things and stuff like that. We come in on Sunday, hit the drawing board or whatever, and we wipe it clean. We come out on Tuesday, and we ready for our next opponent.
How was the atmosphere in Carbondale today? Obviously, homecoming weekend. You got to see Jeremy Chin, a couple other guys on the sideline, and jersey return. But overall, how was the atmosphere?
Atmosphere was amazing. It's always good when those guys come back and pay respects. It's his bye week. He could have been doing anything, spending time with family, and he decided to come back and things of that nature. But the atmosphere was amazing. I feel like a lot of fans came out. I feel like a lot of fans are more involved this year and things of that nature. So, yeah, that just turned us up when we took the field today.
What are some things from today's game that you guys are going to preach going forward, coming off the 2 losses? What do you guys think you did best today that you're going to keep striving for in the upcoming games?
I think today what we did best was just execute on all levels, from the offensive line to, the running backs to the receivers, and then to, DJ just leading everything. I think we're going to preach execution, just going forward, because like I said, these last 2 weeks, I just think the past 2 weeks, it was just a drive or two that, cost the game, that had a big effect on the game. So, yeah, I think we're just taking into next week, just, knowing who we are, execution, and going in there and making plays.
Thank you. I got one more. Aiden Quinn, he had that touchdown, that grab, that go. Talk about I don't know how involved you were on that play,
yeah.
But, just that whole play just goes from a short game, suddenly a guy who's not fast is able to get in there.
Yeah, so during that play, we cooked up a screen for my boy A1. I like to call him A1.
Okay.
We cooked up a screen for AJ right there. I'm taking off to the other side, I should say, like a flat route, kind of just draw the linebackers one direction. As you seen a guy come through, just trying to do my best to protect the quarterback, just put my body on the line right there, and gave him a few more seconds to make the play. And like I said, execution. A1 did his job, and getting it in the end zone.
Jeremiah had an interception, a couple of passes defense, had a sack. I mean, you feel like this is as good a game as you've played since you've been here?
Yes, by far. I feel like this is the best game I had since I was here. I mean, like, with that stat line, how can it not be the best that I had?
How much motivation was there for you guys, defense in particular, after these last couple of games to come out and do the things you were doing earlier this year?
Our motivation was just, like, heavy. We was just preaching for the last 2 weeks that, like, we got to get back to our standard. Like, the games we put up last 2 weeks, that's not us. I mean, we came in this game highly motivated. We had a great week of practice, and I feel like the guys just came out here and everybody did their job, and we came and did what we were supposed to do.
How good was it to see the pass rush get to the quarterback 4 times? Would have had a fifth if it weren't for a penalty. I mean, that's what you guys have been talking about, being able to finally finish in terms of getting to the quarterback?
I mean, that was four pass. That was great. Just to see the guys, D-line, just go back there and get back there and then do their job. I mean, that helped us on the back end also. So, I mean, that's great for the defense to make the quarterback uncomfortable in situations. So I feel like that was great. That's a great start for us right there.
How important was it to be able to win on first and second down to set up some of that too?
Oh, it's important to win on first and second down. I mean, when you win on first and second down, third down, I mean, for the offense, it's tough. Put them in bad situations. I mean, that's hard. Keep them behind the sticks or keep them in vulnerable situations that create bad things, turnovers and stuff like that.
And I'll ask you the same thing I asked Eddie to start his interview. How badly did you guys need this result after the last 2 weeks?
We needed, I won't say badly, but we needed to win. I mean, A win is a win. I mean, we looking here. We know what we are. We know what we can do. And I mean, like we needed this win to get back on the path that we headed.
The block punt in the first half, I'm sure you're getting ready to, have to defend the whole field. Suddenly, you're in the red zone to be able to hold them to just a field goal. Talk about what that did. Obviously going into the half up 24-3 at that point.
I mean, that's just the mentality that we have as a defense. Bend don't break. I mean, one side of the ball, special teams or offense lack. That's what we're here for. We're a team, and we come to pick each other up no matter what.
So we talk about how great of a performance you had today. How much does a team defensive performance like this affect your guys' confidence going forward?
I mean, our confidence is through the roof right now. I mean, with a performance like this, we just got to come and build off it. I mean, for next week and the weeks prior to it.
Rivalry game coming up in Murray State next week. I know, obviously, they're fairly new to the MVFC, but talk about, them being close, what it means.
I mean, them being close, we just treat it as another game.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's another game. And, I mean, we're looking to go in to win no matter what, no matter who we play, and that's just what it is.
And then a trip to Youngstown, they've been getting better and better. What do you see from the Penguins?
From the Penguins, I mean, I haven't been watching them, so I really don't know yet. But at the end of the day, I'm just focused on the next week ahead of us. I mean, we're going to enjoy this win and then come back in 24 hours and focus on Murray.